What's up, Nick?
Hey, Jordan, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing good. How's your day going?
It's smooth. I'm just in the hotel chilling right now.
Okay, all right. So you're back in Seattle?
Yeah, we got back today's Saturday, so we got back Wednesday, I think.
Okay.
Wednesday night.
Did you get to do anything around town? Check out Seattle a little bit?
Yeah, like 2 days ago, I went to Pike's Market for the first time and got to see the Ferris wheel and like all the street vendors and stuff. I didn't try any food this time, but next time I go back, I'll definitely try some food and get some stuff. I got to see the gum wall there too, and then the other night I went to this concert. Xavier Omar was performing at the Showbox, and I went with Godwin and Kyle. So that was a
Okay.
good time.
So Godwin and Kyle are two guys that you played with at Northwestern, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
They graduated, I would say, 2 years before me.
Okay. All right. And so you're spending a lot of time with them just because you know them.
Yeah, so I'm cool with all my teammates, especially on the D line. But just because we went to college together, it's easier sometimes to just be like, "Yo, you want to go to this?" or "Yo, I'm going to get some food." Just because we have a sense of what we all like.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I talked to Channing Stribling the other day, and I asked him if he had gone out and was eating some sushi with you, and he was like, "Nah, I don't really mess around with sushi."
Yeah, I wasn't too hot on sushi, but me, Tani, Marcel, Sonny, and Miles, we all went to this place called Sushi Ring, and I can't remember exactly where it was, but we went there, and it was fire. And
Okay.
yeah, it was really good. So it was the first. Well, that time wasn't the first time I had sushi. Um, but at that place was the first time I had sushi. So um, yeah, I'm always down to go there now.
All right. Okay. So I hadn't talked to you since you guys went down to Houston, and now that you guys have completed the mini camp, training camp, and two scrimmage games between the DC Defenders and the Tampa Bay Vipers, how do you feel about how you did in Houston as yourself in a whole?
Um, Looking at my own performance, I'm pretty happy how I played down there. Consistently, like I got off the ball, was in the backfield, um, made plays, whether it was a TFL, a sack, or just some type of disruption, which is always good for a D lineman. And then I really, in my mind, like looking back at, just made steps from the past. So like when I was at the 49ers, um, the preseason, way back in August, or yeah, August, I think, um, just making steps off of my play there. So just like constantly being better as a D lineman. Yeah, so I think I played really well.
That's good. Good. How do you feel that the defensive line as a whole did in Houston?
I thought we played well as well. uh, Being able to scrimmage against guys in different color jerseys, you can really throttle down in work on game in work on moves you typically use in the game. Not saying you're not in practice, but after a week or two going against the same guys, you kind of self scout and know other guys' habits. But to just go out there against some fresh faces, we could really let loose. And yeah, I'm super excited to play with the D line. Everyone's athletic. They know the game. So I think, at all four positions, we're going to be really good.
Cool. I like hearing that. Um, do you think that anything that happened in Houston stood out most to you during the whole training camp?
Anything that happened in Houston? Um, the first thing that really comes to my mind is just as a whole, defensive wise, I think the strength of this team is going to be the defense. Um, Not saying the offense um, won't be able to put points on the board. That we got some athletes over there, but just being able to see like the defense as a unit play against an opposing team, just had I left the field with confidence in my guys and our guys, that whatever offense we'll be able to go against will um, be able to execute and ball. So yeah, that was the biggest thing. Just being able to see the defense work as a whole unit, and just really get to see how everyone works together.
Okay. Okay. Um, so how did you feel about actually, I'm assuming you guys aren't going full speed, full contact when you're doing these scrimmage games, but how did it feel to be back and getting back into like popping each other and trying to, bust out some swim moves and get some contact in?
It was great. You know, um, Obviously, yeah, when we're doing the scrimmages, we don't go to the ground or anything, but it's thud around the line, and then anything else you use in your imagination, um, to an extent. Um, but anytime you can be on the field and have that game like intensity, um, is awesome. So I was really excited to experience that.
Okay. Did you guys get to see anybody other than the Defenders and the Vipers perform? I know you guys played against them, but did you guys get to see any other teams like do their scrimmages or anything like that?
No. We had like a joint practice with the Renegades, um, and while it wasn't a full on scrimmage, we got to get a feel of how they play and what their guys are like. But aside from like being a spectator, not too much. From The only thing I really got to see was like the highlights on Twitter of the Guardians and Vipers. Um, yeah, me and my roommate Marco, my camp roommate Marco, thought about going to the game or the scrimmage, but the way scheduling worked out, we unfortunately didn't get to go.
Okay.
But yeah, we got to see the highlights on Twitter and what everyone was talking about.
Okay, so from what you've seen and what you've experienced, how do you feel that the Seattle Dragons are performing in comparison to what you've seen other teams do, and how you feel you guys matched up during the scrimmage?
I think we matched up well. As far as league wise, I think we're on the better half. Um, Guys are working as a team, knowing what their assignment is and being able to execute it from whatever position they are in. And guys want to be here because if they didn't, they wouldn't be here.
Right.
Which is awesome to have. But yeah, I think we're on the better half, and matchup wise, I think we have athletes in all our positions. So I think as far as any team we go against, we'll match up well. It's just a matter of executing and just doing it over and over and over. Because, yeah, those scrimmages we played, like they were action packed. Like it was a lot of plays. Like guys got a lot of reps, which was good.
Did you see anybody getting any kind of injuries or anything, or is there anything to worry about there?
No, not to my knowledge. For the most part, everyone came out pretty clean on all the scrimmages we had, which was really good to see.
That's great news.
Yeah, because you know how football is. Yeah.
Okay, so since the last time we talked, I did a little bit more digging around on you. You got to tell me how you learned all these slick dance moves. All I can find are just all of your dance videos, man. Where are you picking these up at?
I mean, Instagram, Twitter, my buddies. I know at Northwestern, like there was a bunch of guys who loved dancing. Like there's a young guy at Northwestern now. His name's Ernest Brown, and he loves dancing. So whenever we got the chance, you know, after practice, before practice, after meetings, before class, you know, we just play some music and just hit the dance floor, I guess. So yeah, it's just a combination, just Twitter, Instagram, my friends. Yeah.
You got a lot of influences.
Yeah, a lot of influences.
Okay. Are we going to get to see you bust out a worm in a Dragon's uniform?
Maybe, you know.
All right. So how do you think your performance in training camp is going to carry over into the season that's going to start in a couple weeks? Do you feel like it's going to carry over pretty well?
Yeah, I'm confident that I'll be able to just take everything that I've built up to this point and just run with it right into the season. You know, just being around the guys, having the schedule we have, I feel confident that you know, when game time comes, I'll be able to operate at that high level that I was at training camp.
Okay, cool. So I'm going to ask you a few questions about these new rules that the XFL came up with. They've come out with a lot of unconventional rules that are different than basically every other American football league across, you know, just football in general. How hard was it for you to make these adjustments?
As far as me being a defensive lineman, it wasn't too crazy.
Okay.
The biggest challenge or the biggest rule change for me was just the play clock and how it's a little bit faster.
Yeah, so I'm gonna ask you about that definitely.
Yeah.
Did you get to play defense against anybody who did 2 passes behind the line of scrimmage? I talked to somebody else on your defensive squad already, and they said no, but I don't know if anybody had shown 2 passes behind the line yet.
Mm-hmm. No, not to my knowledge. I didn't get to see that yet, but you know, just playing the game, you'll just have to stay on your toes.
Okay.
But no, I haven't seen it, not yet.
Okay. Are you involved in special teams kickoffs at all?
I'm not. As of right now, I mean, during training camp, like we would do drills and things of that nature that I participated in. But as of right now, no.
Okay, so how do you feel about the kickoff change? How do you think that it's going to change the game up a little bit?
I think it'll be a lot safer for the guys trying to block and tackle. You know, being on kickoff and kickoff return, having a full head of steam running down the field is asking to get smacked. But having guys, I think 10. It's 5 or 10 yards apart from each other.
I think it's 5.
Yeah. I think it'll keep injuries lower, whether it's like muscular or like from impact.
Right. I think it's going to be reducing on the amount of injuries you're going to see on these kickoffs, and I actually really enjoy. I'm looking forward to seeing it. I'm enjoying what I've seen so far.
Yeah, definitely, because it'll be like a lot more just like one-on-ones till you beat the guy across from you.
Right. Instead of these long, drawn out runs and then huge impact. So I'm okay with that. Anything that's safer for you guys is okay with me.
Yeah.
Do you, as a defensive player, like that the XFL seems to be wanting to make punting less of an option with the rule changes to punting? So, basically, my question is are you excited that you might have to be playing, instead of a 3 and out, a 4 and out more often?
In some senses, yes, and in some senses, no. So, for example, like if we're down a couple points and we get it's third down and we get a stop and it's maybe 4th and 2, 4th and 3, and now it's really in the offense's hands. Like like maybe we should go for it or maybe we should punt it. In that sense, like I'm like, all right, y'all need to punt it, just so the offense can get it back. But whenever you can get a turnover, like if you get a 4th down stop, it's a turnover, and anytime you get that, it's always great.
Right. Okay. Did you get any overtime reps in?
Yeah. In both scrimmages, I believe we got to do some overtime reps, and I liked it. It's just like boom, come out for a play, boom, come out for a play, boom. So really, you can just let it all hang loose for those 5 reps.
So my question for you is on that is, I understand that one team goes and then the other team goes. How quick is the transition between one team's offense and defense getting on and the other team's offense and defense getting on?
I'd say it's no more faster than a drive of like playing regular defense, especially with the sped up play clock.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you do like the shootout style that the XFL has adopted?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Do you guys specifically practice plays? You know how like people are doing 2-minute drills as in practice? They practice 2-minute drills. Do you guys practice overtime reps at all during practices?
Me thinking back, I don't specifically remember working on overtime reps, but I mean in that sense, it's just the red zone for us, and like we've went over red zone situations,
okay.
So it would be no different from us.
Okay. So what is your feeling on the extra points? Because you get extra playing time when you're going for the extra, or when you're playing against the extra points, right? So you're trying to stop the extra point. How do you feel about the conversions of that and how the extra point works for the XFL?
I mean, me being on defense, I just think of it as another opportunity to make a play. A team could instead of getting 7 points or 8 points or 9 points, like we could stop them and just them have 6. So when the offense scores or if the defense scores, we can be at an advantage.
Yeah, that's really important. I mean, that's a huge difference between getting 1 or 2 points and just bringing out a kicker and just the most boring play in football and just get an extra point with a kick. At least you guys have a chance to stop it.
Yeah, definitely. And I was thinking about that the other day too. I guess the only bad thing about it is just the kickers is like usually PATs like would give them a sense of rhythm,
Right.
instead of like not having to kick the whole game and then trotting out there the last play, having to make a game-winning field goal.
Right. I didn't think about that.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Wow, that actually brings up a whole bunch of questions for me, but I'll save that for another time then. How does the 25-second play clock affect you personally?
It just raises those alarms in my head, having that alarm in your head saying like you don't have as much time as you think. So once you make the tackle or once the play ends, you need to look and get ready for the next play.
Yeah, awesome. Okay. Do you feel that you need to be better conditioned because of the short play clock and how fast the tempo of the game is going?
Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely. Because we'll be getting, I don't know how many more reps, but I would assume we're going to get more reps than an NFL game. So being in great shape is a must.
Are you working specifically towards bettering your condition at all because of this?
Yes. Yeah, yes and no. It's like in the back of my mind, knowing that you need to be in great shape. But the way we practice, it forces you to get in that habit of, when the game comes, you're in great shape. So, doing everything you can to make sure you're ready to play at a high level.
Okay. So overall, you would say that you like that the XFL is changing up the tempo?
I mean, from being in the preseason with the 49ers, me personally, I love how the play clock is. 40 seconds, and if a team chooses to go faster, they can. Like when I was in college, I loved playing Wisconsin because you would play a play, and they're gonna huddle up for at least a couple seconds, and then break the huddle, and then you're gonna get down to the nitty gritty, which just put more pressure on the defense to make every play count. Yeah, so I think there are
pros and cons to it.
To both styles.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm not it's not anything I can't get used to.
Okay, I like that answer. That's awesome. So I was reading, and I don't know if you know anything about it or not, but I was curious. I read that players on the offense that normally in other leagues don't get microphones in their helmets are getting them so that they can get the plays faster. Is that a thing that they're doing?
To my knowledge, yes.
Okay. And so with the play clock being as fast as it is and them getting the play faster instead of waiting, in a huddle for as long as, you normally would be, how does that make it harder for you to read the defense before a snap?
It just speeds up that clock in your head.
Okay.
Whether it's getting the call, lining up, seeing the formation and stuff, everything's just going a higher click.
Okay. I got a couple more questions for you.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. So how do you feel about these upcoming weeks that you guys are going to do before traveling to DC? Are you guys practicing? You guys kind of relaxing? You guys watching a bunch of game film? How do you feel about coming up these upcoming weeks before the season starts?
I feel really good. The way we have things right now, it's kind of like a roller coaster. You slowly build up to the top, and then once game time, everything just flows. So right now we're just working out, and then we have practice tomorrow. So, we'll slowly start, taking those steps. So once we do play the defenders, we'll be ready.
Okay. Are you spending a lot of off time going out doing stuff, or are you spending a lot of your time watching film or prepping for this?
This past weekend, I've been, trying to see Seattle as much as I can.
Yeah, for sure.
Just because, once this season starts, a lot of our time is going to be dedicated to watching film and preparing, especially when there's actual game tape, like XFL tape, to be watching.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, as far as right now, I've been seeing Seattle, but I mean, as every day gets closer, is another day I'm going to be adding something else.
Right. So I don't know if you've noticed how crazy rabid as sports fans that Seattle has, just being around in the town. But did you know that the Seattle Dragons have the highest ticket sales already?
Yeah, I did see that. And that's just awesome. Just looking around Seattle, how much people just support sports, which is awesome. And I think the fans will be excited to come out to see the Dragons.
Yeah, I haven't talked to anybody that is not excited about this in the Seattle area yet. So you guys got a lot of fan backing already. How do you feel that your expectation? Okay, so what are your expectations going into the season? Starting week 1. What is your personal goal at the end of the season? What you want? How many sacks are you gonna get?
I mean, me personally, I'm trying to, me personally, I want to, make as big of an impact as I can. So, in the back of my mind, I'm going to try to get a sack a game. And as far as team-wise, the goal is just to go out there and win. That's why we play sports. At the end of the game, you have more points than the other team, and everyone on this team, they want to win, and I'm super excited for it.
Awesome. Got a couple more of those little AMA questions because I enjoy talking to this stuff with you, if that's all right.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so last time we talked, you didn't watch any of The Mandalorian. Have you touched any of it yet?
No, I haven't. That's still on the back burner. I've been
busy with football.
Yeah, I've been watching other stuff recently. I'm about to finish Hunter x Hunter.
Okay.
So my friends have, from back home and elsewhere have told me that it's a good anime.
It's great.
Yeah, so I'm about to finish that, and then when I wasn't watching that, we were practicing and stuff.
Okay. And do you game at all?
Yeah. So recently, my older sister, got me a Nintendo Switch.
Okay.
So if I'm not doing football stuff, or watching TV or going to see Seattle, I'll play on my Switch now. And the only game I have right now is Super Smash.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and a couple other guys on the team play too. So, if Brock texted me like, "Yo, we're having sessions in room blah blah blah," I'll just pick up my Switch and pull up.
Yeah, so, I saw that on Twitter that you guys were doing a whole bunch of Super smashing.
Yeah, so it'll probably get more intense as the season goes on. Guys are talking about getting actual adapters so they can plug in their
the GameCube controllers.
Yeah, so
that's cool.
Yeah, it'll be exciting. It'll be fun.
I like the camaraderie you guys got going on there. All right, man. I don't have too much else for you right now, but if you want to talk more later on as the season goes, that would be fantastic. I always like talking to you, Jordan.
Yeah, same here. It's always awesome to be on the show.
All right, awesome. So I'll keep in touch with you, and looking forward to week 1, man.
Appreciate it.
All right, stay healthy.
Appreciate it.
Bye.
Thanks for having me again.
Yep. Talk to you later.
Peace.
Awesome. I love Jordan, man. He's awesome. Guys, seriously, this XFL league is going to be awesome. I'm really hoping we get a bunch of support for this league. I'm trying to cover it as much as possible. You know, this league needs to get covered, and I'm going to be your guy to do it here at GCSN and Talking Interference Sports. And I really, really hope that you guys keep up to date with what's going on with me. Thank you so much for your guys' time, and I'll catch you guys later.